Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandrago's Cave. Today we are gonna be talking about One Piece live action episode 3. I love the series. We have done already 2 videos. We've been drawing Smoker, we've been drawing Brooke. Now we are gonna be drawing Miss Wednesday. This episode is called The Whiskey Business. The Straw Hats. We are arriving to Whiskey Peak, so this is an island looking like a cacti, and for me, she is the spotlight of the episode. And I want to talk a little bit about everything and about the differences from the manga, from the anime. I want to talk about the whole concept of the story in general. So that means it's gonna be full of spoilers about manga, about anime, about live action, about everything, because I want to compare and see how we can just explore the making of the story. Okay, I'm gonna draw her here on top. We're gonna go obviously for a cartoonization of Charitra. I hope I pronounced the name properly. Cartoonization of the actress, a little bit mixing with Vivi, so like the rest of the guys are gonna be cartoony characters here. Okay. We do a little bit here. Normally, in previous instances of these videos, I've been doing multiple characters in one video, but I think I fancy to go for the, just more relaxed approach and go just one by one maybe, and do one character per episode probably. So let's do all of these, the hair. Hopefully we have hair full in screen here, and we need to draw the coat. All of them I'm doing the face, the neck, and a little bit of whatever type of clothing they are wearing here on the top. Okay, like this. Very nice, the shape. And the hair, she has the hair like this. It will make sense that I draw her like this, like she's actually in the scene, because Vivi normally has the hair, Miss Wednesday normally has the hair more like in a ponytail here, depending on the drawing. Okay, so let's approach this like this, and now we try to do the face in a second as well. So we start the episode. Zorro is training, and he is kind of having a fight versus Mihawk. Obviously this is in his mind, this is not happening in reality. Mihawk is a character that we saw in season 1. Mihawk is the strongest swordsman and is Zorro's goal. He wants to defeat him and become the strongest. He is basically destroyed by Mihawk in season 1. This is the same in live action, in manga, in anime. And in the manga, we see how Zorro is training to get stronger and have this kind of will of surpassing himself and surpassing then Mihawk. Here in the story, because he's having some sort of flashes in his memory of him, I see it more like PTSD, like some sort of post-traumatic stress disorder, like he is so affected because he almost died actually, all of this. So I like the way that Mihawk has been rewritten in this story. You do not see Zorro in the manga having these flashes of, oh, Mihawk is talking to me, oh, Mihawk is there on the side, oh, I'm fighting against Mihawk again. So that is nice. There is a tiny detail as well where he is called by Mihawk Little Frog. Little Frog, they changed the concept. Originally he says Little Rabbit. He says, he takes out the small knife. He said, I don't have anything smaller to use against a Little Rabbit. Little Rabbit is something like a concept that later, there is no confirmations of this, but later there is a certain group of characters in One Piece, very powerful characters in terms of position, that they call the poor people or the slaves or the ones lower, they consider lower to them, that is most of the people around, they call these people rabbits as well. So I think they may be a connection with this group of people and this character Mihawk, but that's something to explore probably later in one of the manga videos that we do here in the channel, because it is a different kind of approach. I don't think nothing like that is going to be connected here in the story. We continue. We see Sanji wearing the Doskoi panda apron while he is cooking one of Usopp's fishes that he just took out of the sea. Mr. 9 is there because, if you remember, we defeated Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday in the previous episode. The change of weather in Grand Line is the novelty here in the story. It is as well something very different when we are reading the manga and we enter the Grand Line. We know that, in real world, now is summer, then you have autumn, then you have winter, and then again, spring, and it's a cycle. The Grand Line is designed in a way that all the islands are separated, obviously, and each island has a weather, okay? There is something going on, maybe that is a summer island that is having its own cycle of the 4 seasons. If the island is a summer island, it will have all the seasons more focused into summer. If it is winter, it will have the cycle as well, but most of the time winter or focus in winter. So when you are navigating through the Grand Line, that is like a line of water, if you approach one island to another, the sea around the island is obviously affected by this weather as well. That's why Nami is coming in and out, saying, oh, now it's hot, oh, now it's raining, oh, now it's snowing, because they are passing through islands. Islands that are not that close, because the log post obviously is not registering it, but islands, because if you remember, I explained at the beginning, when we are with Crocus, in that point, the log post can register up to 7 different islands. And when you go to the one that is chosen by the log post, then it will register the second one. That means that all the other ones, if some of them are closer than others, will be affecting the environment that you're passing through, okay? So that is a very interesting concept, a very interesting point, and I like this world building. World building is when we create a whole world. This is something that you haven't seen, for example, in another story. These changes on the weather, these changes on the islands and everything, this type of log post, this type of navigation method. So it is very interesting. We jump into, a small conversation between Zorro and Mr. 9. Zorro is kind of being, strong and kind of boss there. Mr. 9 is playing with him, joking with him that, because I'm tied up, you're being here very cocky and everything, but if I would be released, just release me and you will see how I'm able to defeat you. Zorro obviously is being the boss, saying there to, if you were defeated by the cook, by Sanji, how are you even dreaming on defeating me? So that's very interesting concept. There is in One Piece, there is this rivalry always, where Zorro and Sanji, some people are more fan of Zorro, some others are more fan of Sanji. Recently in manga, again, spoiler, they've been confirmed as the wings of the Pirate King. And as you know, the wings in a bird need to have the same strength to be able to fly. With this, I don't mean one is stronger than the other or the other way around, but obviously Zorro is training 100% of the time. Zorro should be physically stronger, and Sanji is cooking most of the time, so Sanji will be more able to focus, for example. He trains as well, and he's strong as well, but in my opinion, physically, Zorro is stronger. Mentally, in the terms of not mental strength, but intelligence, for example, I think Sanji is a mastermind. We see this in the manga a couple of times in the story, and I would love to see that more, but I don't think you see it as much as you will want to see it, okay? But I think that's the way of compensating it. Maybe Sanji is more brains than muscle, but he has muscle, and Zorro is more muscle than brains, but he has brains as well, because in some moments he is, doing some nice moves as well in the story. So kind of an interesting dynamic that these characters have. We jump into Luffy and Miss Wednesday. There is a thoughtful interaction there. Luffy wants to give her food. She's like a little bit weird, like kind of feeling something weird about Luffy in a good sense. Luffy is trying to get to know her, and that's a surprise. Then we go out and we are on deck with everyone, and they realize that Miss Wednesday is free, and all of them are like, okay, Luffy, so this is an assassin. We should actually keep an eye on her. We should keep her tight and everything. And Luffy, he says that his gut is telling him that she's good. No, they don't have to worry about her. So that's interesting concept. Luffy's mind works in a way that he is very natural, very wild, very about the senses, and like when you interact with a kid and the kid is so free and so honest, and that is kind of the way that you should look into Luffy. Luffy is not gonna be lying to you, for example. Luffy is gonna be honest, he's gonna be plain. Sometimes the things that he can say may hurt as a reality, but always from the good point of view. And I think they made a beautiful interaction with her. Myself, obviously knowing what's coming later, what's the story of all the characters, I see something that the showrunners and the writers have thought in depth in doing this tiny detail that actually doesn't happen in the manga either. There is a small interaction, yes, but not. You don't have it pointed out so much like here in the live action. So it is very interesting. So we go into the island. We are arriving into Whiskey Peak. This is like a cacti island, like a cactus. We have the logo of the One Piece with Igaram's face. Igaram is a character that we're gonna meet in a second as well. This island is western-like looking town. Everything is painted like with pinks colors, with desert colors. It is a very friendly place, surprisingly. Everyone is very happy, very cheery, very cheerful, and receiving the pirates, loving the pirates. We have the introduction of Igaram. Igaram is a guy with a very funny type of hair, and he invites them for food, for party, and he explains to the Straw Hats here that here in this place we love pirates, we love to receive the pirates, etc. He mentions as well the Tulip Pirates. There is a mention of the Tulip Pirates. These guys are a band, they are a crew. Who we know in the manga because they interact with Full Body. Full Body is one of the guys that we meet in Baratie, and here they defeat Full Body in Mirror Ball Island, I think it was, and then Django. That Django is from Usopp Saga. He manages to defeat all of them and save Full Body, and from there those two guys are gonna be, going on their own journey and doing their own story and everything, and that is something extra information for the ones who don't know. I like that this story is made by people who understands One Piece, who are fans of One Piece. I love it because things like this, tiny things like this, or decoration in the background, or posters around, or I don't know, comments that the characters are doing all the time. If you are someone who is not, let's say, involved into the process of learning about One Piece, studying a little bit of One Piece, not studying in the sense of, okay, I'm gonna study, but in the sense of I wanna learn things, I wanna be aware of the world. So I think it makes it more realistic in the sense of they are fans like me, like you, and they just wanna have the best kind of experience for us that we are here at home and just trying to watch the series. I love it. I want to know your opinion as well about this. What do you think about the take that the One Piece live action creators are having with One Piece, and how, for example, you would enhance, or some things that they may have missed, you will want to see, for example, as well. It would be nice if you put it in the show more section down below. So everything is very nice here with the Whiskey Peak people, okay? And Igram, I like him, but if I have to say a constructive comment here, Igram is a very big guy, very tall, okay? He stands above all of the normal size humans. I would have loved, you can choose the same actor, everything is perfect, yes, the same type of outfit, yes, but in my opinion, as a creative, I would have go for a more extreme approach. Maybe put him in one of those circus type of, I don't know how it is called, but this type of legs, that is wood legs that you go on top and you look like maybe you are almost 3 meters. Not 3 meters, but do something like that. Make him stand in one of those. Maybe make the wig larger, maybe. They adapted the character into more of a humanized form. Igaram is a human, yes, but I would have loved to see a little bit more the exaggeration of the cartoon. The actor, on point, very nice, very good performance in this episode, very good interaction with everyone, seriousness and well behaved in the sense of, you know, I am the boss here. I like it very much, but the design of the character as such for the live action, I would have cartoonized him maybe a little bit more, okay? Well, we go into the bar, we are partying there with Igaram and the rest of the musicians. Igaram is playing the saxophone nicely, there's a bunch of musicians there, there's a bunch of guys and, you know, girls, and we're drinking, we are talking about the stories. We have Usopp is explaining about, oh, you know, this giant whale, this giant thing, you know, and I saved Sanji from a zombie. That this is all a lie, obviously, because Usopp is a liar, but that is very, very One Piece-y, okay? Luffy as well suggests to Igaram that, hey, by the way, I am still looking for a musician for my crew. Since the very beginning in the manga as well, one of the things that Luffy said is, the first thing I need is a musician. It didn't happen. It didn't happen straight away. It happens later, as we revealed here in the previous episode. But that is something that he always wanted since the very beginning. And this is because his past with Shanks in the village, in Fuchsia village, and how Shanks and the crew, they will sing all the time and everything. So Luffy has this kind of beautiful image of pirates, of having a nice time, traveling the world, you know, enjoying, and he wants to have fun, and he wants music, and he wants a cheerful environment in the crew and everything. So he is gonna be looking for a musician. Igaram obviously is declining because he says he has business to do and things to do, but that is very interesting. So there is a mention here as well that the assassins are here. We see both of them that we had in the ship, that they escaped from the ship at the beginning of the episode. We see them landing, drying themselves. There is a mention of Mr. 8 here. Obviously, Mr. 8 falls into the category of a Baroque Works member. It falls into the category of a character that we haven't met yet. These two guys are mentioning about this, so that is gonna be trouble that we're gonna encounter here in this episode, obviously. So all the Straw Hats have their things going on in the bar. You know, there's a couple of hours, probably there's the whole night. In theory, it's a full night here in Whiskey Peak, but you know, Luffy is eating, Usopp is playing darts, Sanji is doing some cocktails for the girls and everything, Zorro is drinking as well, Nami is drinking as well, all of them are partying, doing the things that they love. And while Nami is drinking with one of the nuns, like a competition to earn some berries, there is a mention of the Cactus Mountain exploration, and she wants to go there. She defeats the nun in a drinking competition, and she wants to go there. The nun mentions a couple of things like, "Oh no, don't go there because it's, you know, it's dangerous, blah blah blah." So Nami is kind of weird from here on. She's like, why? That's very interesting as well. Then we have this very interesting moment of that doesn't happen either in the manga or in the anime. We have this Luffy and Zoro interaction. They have this chat about, you know, Zoro looks worried, and Luffy's asking about this. He says it's, you know, Mihawk. We see again in this episode there is a lot of emphasis in the distress and the worry that Mihawk is for him, and the challenge that he is gonna be in the future for him as well, and everything. And that is what Zoro has in his mind since the very beginning as well. Zoro is a character that he said to Luffy since the very beginning, if you are on my way, I'm gonna be with you, but if you're on my way of me becoming the strongest swordsman, I'm gonna just eliminate you. This is something that in the manga as well is more emphasized. There's something that happened here that I will mention in a bit in this episode that puts this in perspective as well, and it's nicely done because we see the human part of the Straw Hats as well, like we see in some of the Sanji moments and some of the Nami moments especially as well, that they are more human, that we are used to see them as a human, as a Straw Cats here, okay? Let's do this part as well, very nice, looking very nice. Luffy basically, as we are talking about this topic, he kind of remarks to Zoro, don't worry, you're gonna have a lot of strong guys to fight before you go into finding Mihawk again. And the journey here, the adventure is what it counts. The journey is what we want to see here, okay? So, let's start with a little bit of color, okay? A little bit of color here. So in this point of the episode is when things start to get a little bit dodgy. Sanji and Usopp, they are invited by the girls to go upstairs. They go. Luffy goes and starts eating some desserts because he was hungry as usual. And there is a nice interaction with Igaram. There is a chat there. And he says, how is it that you, kid, basically have such a massive bounty on your head, like 30 million berries, when you are so young and when you look so nice, you know, and you don't look dangerous at all, basically. And Luffy starts basically enumerating the things that they've been doing, like, you know, we defeated this bad guy, this bad butler, this blah blah blah. And Igaram has kind of a glance of Luffy is good. He tells Luffy that he shouldn't be trusting people. And then suddenly we have here Miss Wednesday showing up, and there is this moment, this very funny moment, because it is very funny, where she starts dancing, hypnotizing type of dance. You see the ambience around her is kind of showing this kind of VFX, some kind of illusion around her. Igaram at the same time is playing the saxophone as well. All of them are kind of hypnotizing Luffy, so he falls, okay? And we see these moments in the manga as well. She uses these techniques multiple times, but they are not much effective. These kind of dancing, hypnotizing abilities of Miss Wednesday are not that great in theory, in real life, but here with Luffy, spot on. It affected him straight away. So these bad guys have some sort of subplot going on top of the Baroque Works story. This is what this scene is giving you to understand. Then we go again to Nami. Nami is on top of the mountain. There is some sort of Undertaker guy there. We see that he's carrying something. Nami opens this kind of... she just moves the blanket and there is a bunch of guys there with tulips on their head. So those are the tulip pirates. So she understands that this is a island of bad guys, that they are tricking the pirates to eliminate them. So let's for a second understand what is the implication of this. These guys are Baroque Works. This is an island of bounty hunters, and the implications of this are so many people from all the seas, from the 4 seas, North Blue, East Blue, South Blue, West Blue, they go through Reverse Mountain, they actually cross the Twin Capes, where Laboon is, where Crocus is. If you don't die, you know, smashed against the rocks, or going up the mountain, you know, sinking the ship on the process. We saw many ships there sunk, a lot of shipwrecks. If you don't die there, then you may crash against Laboon. Laboon can eat you, and then you don't have a way, if you don't have a log post, to navigate safely, so you can get lost. And then, for whatever reason, you end up in Whiskey Peak, like it happens to us now in this story, and you are encountered by the Whiskey Peak guys. And they are bounty hunters, like the Tulip Pirates here. In this case, you are captured, you are eliminated, and they will get your bounty on your head, so they have a little bit of money, a little bit of coin to survive. So just imagine being a pirate in this type of scenario. Imagine later in the story, we will meet many more pirates that maybe they didn't pass through Whiskey Peak, they took another of the 7 routes, and they go through other islands, but Whiskey Peak is dangerous. Whiskey Peak has 100 bounty hunters, all of them very strong and very impressive. So there is a whole master plan working on here, okay? So that is a very strong kind of wall to access the Grand Line here. We have this scene where some of these guys start attacking Zorro. He went out for a pee, and he defeats those 2 or 3 of the guys, and then, you know, Nami shows up, talks with Zorro. And the whole time Zorro wasn't drunk, he already knew something weird was going on. So Zorro versus 100 bounty hunters. This is basically one of the things that everyone has been waiting for. I love those fights there. This is a moment as well where Zorro is gonna test the swords, the Sandai Kitetsu, the red one, and the Yubashiri, the black one, and see how they combine with the Wado Jimonji, the one that is color white. This is actually something that it happened. They picked 100 actors, 100 stunt doubles, and they were fighting Makenyu. Makenyu is Zorro's actor. Zorro knew, and the showrunners, the organizers, the writers, they knew we as a fans, we were gonna be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 100. He is counting himself. At the same time, while he is doing this, he is having flashbacks of Mihawk again, PTSD. He's very, you know, focused in this goal that he has. Interesting. I like it. Makenyu is an actor that he's been doing a lot of roles of fighting as well. He's been in other movies, Japanese movies before. He plays one of the bad guys in Rurouni Kenshin 3, I think it is. He is a master swordsman already, you know, and he has a career in fighting with swords. The movements of that other movie are impressive. This is a movie I recommend you to watch. It's a saga of movies, obviously as well, coming from a manga as well, from a story like One Piece. There are not many live action adaptations done nicely, and that Rurouni Kenshin, I loved the movies, okay? Obviously as well, not everything is accurate, like we already know, but very nice. And Makenyu's performance is impressive. I recommend you go and watch this. I think you may have it here in Netflix as well, so it's gonna be very easy to find. I love it. There is a moment when there is a nun that is spraying Zorro. This happens as well in the manga. There is a nun and a kid. They omitted the kid offside of this story because obviously Zorro is gonna be killing them, and you don't want to put a kid there. But Oda is not a guy who goes much into religion that is actually from the real world. In none of the religions he goes much. There are some details of various believes in the story through the manga, through the anime, through the movies and everything, but at some point later on in the story, Oda creates as well his own religion here, his own system of gods and things that you will be seeing as well in the future if we reach to that point in the live action. If not, you can just start the manga and you will thank it. And yeah, but you always have this kind of small details. Think about this. When Oda was writing this story at the very beginning, he was just 19 years old, so he was obviously taking everything that he could take from the real world, and it's you can't deny that sometimes we need to use real references to be able to approach some of the things that we want to represent, okay? Like in this case, he's taking a nun, okay? But anyway, Mihawk is showing up again. Mihawk has a very nice comment about the swordsmanship, kind of telling him, don't get excited, like this, you're not going to be able to defeat me or Yoru. Yoru is his sword, the one with the shape of a cross. Yoru is, just so you know, is one of the swords from the 12 of this special category, the strongest swords in the world. It's a black sword in theory. We don't know much about Mihawk forward, going forward, but we have some kind of information given. Probably this whole scene of Zorro fighting, I would say, to record between 5 days or 1 week, working like 8 hours per day probably or more. And there is a lot of choreography here. They have to do takes before, they have to practice the choreography, and they are jumping around, breaking things, and they need to build them again or take another prop. A prop is an object in one of these scenes, like a barrel, a chair, a bottle of whatever, all of these things are props. And probably they had to do this multiple times, and until later in post-production they put everything together. Maybe they recorded a couple of things today, a couple of things later, a couple of things tomorrow, and they mount it in the computer in something like maybe Premiere or After Effects or something like a post-production software. They put all the scenes together to look like he's non-stop fighting, but probably, most likely, 4 or 5 days minimum to record this whole scene. The final take, I mean, okay? Very nice. There is as well signature onigiri attack from Zorro that I love it when he's doing it. He does as well the Enguma onigiri, I think, with the fire with later on, and I love it. Luffy has again more interaction with Igaram. Miss Wednesday, they are kind of, he's listening them talk, they are gonna go home, I want to go home, let's just steal the ship and let's get out of here. So again, as I said before, there is another, let's change this black to another black because it's not, this is quite dry type of color. I like this more, a little bit more pastel with the Faber-Castell. So there is this interaction that they are having there. So they want to get out of there, they want to escape the island. So Igaram is looking like the boss there, so the boss wants to escape. Miss Wednesday is in partnership with him. We don't know in what sense yet, but it's interesting as well. So what happens next is that Baroque Works shows up. But Miss Valentine, the one in yellow, Mr. 5, the one picking his nose with the bomb fruit, they show up. And they kind of are aware that these two guys are not who they are pretending to be. They kind of discovered them. So probably that's why they were before with Miss All Sunday, investigating information, going to Shellstown, because they knew someone was playing them and someone was trying to get information. Nicely done, I have to say. There is a moment where Zorro is already more advanced in this kind of collecting bounties from the bounty hunters. Zorro versus those 100 people. We are already facing Mr. 9, and there is an amazing fight there. I love Mr. 9. I love the actor, has done an excellent job. The expressions that he does, the movements, the pinky finger like this, like Mr. 9 in the manga as well, amazing. Miss Monday, that is the nun who was drinking with Nami, she wakes up and she goes there as well. She happens to be Baroque Works as well, and both of them start fighting Zorro at the same time. This happens as well in the manga, this happens as well in the anime, and it is nicely done. Zorro obviously here has more trouble to defeat them than in the manga, because you want to create this expectation, you want to create this kind of interaction, okay? Igaram, that is Mr. 8, is the partner in this Baroque Work organization, in this kind of pretend of Miss Monday. And Mr. 9, we know that Mr. 9 is the partner of Miss Wednesday, okay? So the infiltration that these two characters have been doing is revealed. Igaram is damaged by the Baroque Works agents, and he has like a stab wound on the belly, and he just says to Miss Wednesday, you need to get out of here, no matter how. And he kind of makes his stance that he says, you know, I'm the captain of the Royal Guard of Alabasta, and the massive reveal is done then here. He's gonna sacrifice himself, and he's gonna use I think it was Igarapapa, the guns. He pulls his bow tie, and from the bow tie, pulling cannons, like small guns, come from his head, and he starts shooting at the enemies. So she's good. She's good in this scene. She's crying, she's stressed, she's worried, she just wants to escape. At the same time, Igaram is trying to defeat the enemies. The enemies, all of them, both of them, Miss Valentine and Mr. 5 are above his rank. Mr. 8 is lower rank than Mr. 5, so they are in theory stronger. And when he asked Luffy for help, he says, you know, I'm the captain of the Royal Guard, please take the princess, Her Majesty, but he's not saying what's her name yet. Take Her Majesty to Alabasta on my stead, and I'm gonna protect her. And Luffy says yes straight away. Nami wants some coin. She's asking for 1 billion berries. She's already blackmailing them as well in the manga, so that's very nice, because Nami is very money focused all the time. He is the cat burglar, they call her, and I like this moment, I like this interaction. Zorro arrives after defeating those 100 enemies. Something different from the manga, and something that I miss, and something that maybe a lot of people was missing from the story, is Zorro in the manga is fighting all of them, is killing them all. And Luffy is sleeping the whole time. Luffy wakes up and he realizes that Zorro has been killing all these nice guys, that they have been giving them food and giving them shelter and everything and giving them drinks. So Luffy gets very upset with Zorro in the manga, and there is an argument there is a clash, and Luffy tries to kill actually Zorro here in the story. So Zorro is kind of, yeah, don't worry, I'll tell you in a bit what's going on, but just let me finish here. Obviously, Zorro in the manga could have easily explained they are bounty hunters, they made a trap here for us, and we fell like little silly kids. But he doesn't say it, so there is this misunderstood between them, and they start fighting for real, okay? So there is one of the best fights in the whole series, in my opinion, when Miss Valentine and Mr. 5 in the manga appear, and they try to interfere, and they try to eliminate both of them. They basically pay no attention, and with just one punch they are defeated. So kind of, you know, the business here is Luffy versus Zorro. We don't care about anything else. I would have liked to see a little bit of that. That's why they decided to create this kind of more emotional scene with Zorro and Luffy later. At the beginning of the episode, when he says, you know, there's gonna be plenty of enemies to defeat. And you don't want to create this disconnection or this issue with Zorro and Luffy here, either in the live action, because it's you have been building their brotherhood, their Nakama concept in season 1, and you don't want to break it so quick. So that's why I think they decided, you know, maybe this part we should just remove it, okay? But I like it, and it would have been very interesting to see how this part plays in the story of the live action. But I like it how it's done. I like this difference in the interaction as well. Okay, so Mr. 9 determination is incredible. When Igaram sacrifices himself, he explodes in a fireball because Mr. 5's power. Miss Wednesday escapes with Luffy and company, and then the Baroque Works go inside the pub, and there is actually someone who survived. Mr. 9 is still there alive, and they say to him, actually, your little partner, it's a fake. She's been playing us, and Mr. 9, I love this, that it happens as well in the manga, that he says, I do not care. She's my partner anyway, and if you want to pass through here, you're going to have to kill me as well. But, you failed in your mission, so probably Mr. Zero, the boss, is already sending someone to kill you, the unluckies. He mentions the unluckies to kill you. So that's very nice, because you see how these other two guys are very, very scared. And they're super strong. They are super strong. Very interesting, everything. I like it. The differences with the manga and the live action are important in this episode, as you can see, but nicely done. Okay, some of the things that maybe they weren't that relevant for the story, or they may have confused someone who is only live action watcher, are kind of addressed here. And at the same time, you don't have so many hours. You have only 1 hour more or less to explain everything that is happening in Whiskey Peak, and you can't actually go through everything. So it's kind of okay that they took some of these parts out. Then we're on the ship, we're on the Going Merry, and the Straw Hats are talking a little bit about, what are we gonna do with this girl, blah blah blah, we're gonna take her. And then she's emotional, remembering Igaram, that he just sacrificed his life for her. And then Vivi reveals that she is Nefertari, Vivi, Princess of Alabasta. She has been investigating this Baroque Works organization that is destroying. It's plotting against her kingdom. She's been infiltrated for some time with Igaram. They achieved their goal in knowing the real person behind Mr. Zero, so they can actually take action, but this information needs to go to the father, okay, to Nefertari Cobra. She reveals all of this, and this is a very speech type of moment, very royal as well, like she knows how to speak. I loved this actress' performance. I loved it. She is living it. In this moment when she's on the ship, we see the explosion as well of Igaram and everything, and from the distance she's shouting, she's crying, Nami is hugging her as well just before all of this happens and everything. So there is air of determination in the ambience there. We know from this moment that Vivi is gonna be for us now for a bit, and this brotherhood that is needed in the crew, she may bring as well some of that support into the story. I absolutely loved this performance. I absolutely loved this episode. There is so many Easter eggs, so many details, so many kind of things that make you love One Piece, that it's impressive. When this speech by Vivi is done and we're gonna finish the episode, we have the cliffhanger for the next one. That is, Miss All Sunday shows up on the boat. There is this kind of sakura flowers floating on the air. Everyone is turning around and they see Miss All Sunday there. This girl is the second in command of Baroque Works. So this one is the partner of Mr. Zero. So trouble is brewing here. Very nice and very interesting. So I think for today we have finished with this episode. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23, you can say it as you want, and this is the Mandarin Scale. I hope you enjoyed this kind of chat about One Piece live action episode 3. just looking forward to do more and to do more of the guys around, more of the drawings around, so we can expand a little bit this kind of collage of cartoon faces. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one. Bye!